Hey, how you doing? Tony Wasinski, official editor podcast, Redline Radio. Here he is, Frankie Bergasetti. Are you dust? What is that? Is that an old Bears playoff shirt I see? What is?
Hey, how you doing? No, it's vintage. Michelin Ness.
Okay, so
no free ads.
This is it's a classic piece. It fits you well. I noticed this one looks game worn. Is that a stain? Were you chugging a couple of cold ones in the South lot?
Yeah, you know, Miller Lite, it tends to get a little dirty, but I love it that way because Miller Lite's the best beer, and I never am ashamed to wear a little bit.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Don't wash it.
Oh, okay.
The boys are hot.
Okay,
beers are
that's
cold.
true. 2-1, 3-1 after this week.
Maybe the magic of beating Lovey and having the cold ones, 96 calories, great tasting, less filling. I tell you, we went in the stadium, said run the ball. It didn't matter. I was gassing them.
I just love light beer that tastes like beer. I love it, and it's Miller Lite. It's more the taste you love, which is 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Miller Lite knows that beer lovers want their light beer to taste like beer, and that's why they brew a light beer that's light on calories, not on taste.
So to get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/redline, or you can find it pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And Sox Dave.
Chief
Eddie.
And this is Redline Radio, an all-gas, no-break Chicago sports podcast brought to you by Barstool Sports Chicago and our good friends at Miller Lite. Anything off the top?
Yes, I took White Sox and Wildcats out of my Twitter name. Neither of them deserve to have their mascot or logo.
You don't want your brand
big
associated with them.
Not anymore, I don't.
Yeah.
That's
bad. Usually they wouldn't want their brands associated with me.
You topsy-turvied them.
Yep, yes I did. And it's their own doing. We'll get to all that later.
Yeah.
That will be established, too, on this week's Duel Scenes, I believe, right?
Are we giggling? What is going on here?
What, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the stool scenes.
And he's
We're at the watch
lowercase
party.
Dave,
It's lowercase
too.
Dave, yeah.
That's just like a defeated
That's
name.
very
So,
trendy.
I've never seen like
I'm
the name
lowercase.
Dave thrown as like an insult, like the way that Eddie
It
just kept
always
saying.
bothered me when people would type out White Sox Dave like without putting spaces in between each individual word, and they would capitalize the first. It just looks bad to me for some reason. Like it's not aesthetic looking. So I always, whenever I type White Sox Dave, I would leave it all lowercase because for some reason my eyes just look at it and it looks better to me, and that's why I have it Dave.
I hate
so there
that I
is a
know what
small
you're
reason.
talking about and that I agree with you.
Yep.
I hate it.
I mean, you don't have to.
There's just no reason why it is
my
that
favorite-
way.
No,
though.
there is no reason
Yeah.
for it other than it just kind of looks ugly.
Yeah.
In my head, though, when I see that lowercase Dave, it's just like, I'm Dave. Like he's just so like
It's defeated. It's a defeated Dave.
I'm asking Twitter right now. Debate time. I've got 4 options on the poll. One is WSD. One
No,
is,
don't leave it. Make it
I have
as
4 options. Just says-
non-specific. Don't
Yeah.
put it specific to me though.
Well, if I know, but it is specific to you.
Your
I know,
name.
but then it'll
Just
skew
let
the
me
poll.
say
I
the
think.
4 options.
Okay.
The 4 options are WSD, White Sox Dave, one word, where WSD is capitalized. White Sox Dave is 3 separate words. White Sox Dave.
Oh,
And
that's
then
terrible.
4th option
You
is
can't
just
do that.
Dave all lowercase. And we're going to ask the people how to brand you. What's the right way to brand him? What's the appropriate branding for White Sox
It's
Dave?
gonna be. You're not gonna get.
do you remember what his
quality
original
results.
Twitter name was?
I think we're going to get some quality fucking results here, Dave.
What?
You were Shy Sox Barstool.
That's true.
That's as bad
and
as
I
it
did
gets.
change it. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know who told you to change it?
Was it you?
It was me. I made you Barstool WSD.
Who's looking up Shy Socks? Who's searching
I have
Shy
CHI?
Sox.
Shy Sox Barstool.
Just the most diehard people coming to that.
Did you
one.
always have the same Twitter handle?
That was back in like 2014 or 15. I changed it. So
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
You're welcome.
I want to say that I have always been Barstool Carl.
Have you?
Yeah.
I was Stool Intern Ed.
I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
I do remember that.
What is wrong with you?
That was my name.
He was intern.
Because I just thought, all right, well, if you're gonna search for someone on Barstool, like the first thing you're typing in is like, if you were
Barstool.
looking for Big Cat, you type in Barstool Big Cat. Like when we got started, now it's crazy to think.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Big Cat. But at the time, it was like, yo, I'm Barstool Big Cat. Barstool KFC.
Yep. I do kind of wish that I was just Ryan.
That's what I was just about to say. I would love to just be Dave. Like
that's so
Brandon
boring.
fucking Walker's got BFW. Erica Nardina's just got Erica now. We actually had to kind of lobby to get Redline Radio because it used to have an underscore at the end. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. Somebody else had it. We got that changed. Whoever was responsible for that.
I
taking a
DM'd
beef,
the
I don't
guy
know
a
who it
few
was.
times and I shot him an email. He's like, yeah, just take it. It was like some old defunct. It was
It was like a podcast about cars.
It was a NASCAR website, is
Or
what it
something
was.
like
something,
that.
yeah.
Serengeti.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Favorite.
I
How
miss
does
that
song
so
go?
much.
Favorite Trinko duels.
Favorite actor Dennehy.
Yeah, favorite actor Dennis Dennehy.
Called me a
favorite drinker
turkey. I
Duels.
don't even know what that means.
He called you a turkey?
Yeah, I'm a turkey.
I think
That's
that
actually-
could be in the insult draft.
Yeah.
Honorable mention. You're a fucking turkey.
I don't know what it means, but it sounds like it's meant to. Really
Sorry, I didn't
skewer
fucking go backstage at your concert without a pass to do. Whatever, man.
You.
Yeah.
We weren't even full time. I don't think.
And
were
you know
we?
what? Those were better days podcasts when we could just be like, you know what? It's
Wild
time to do a
West.
segment. Let's do. Remember we used to do Glory Holes, Glory Days.
Yeah.
And that was like if
if
either of us were, but we didn't pre-plan the segment. It wasn't like, all right, now it's time to do Glory Holes, Glory Days.
And we would play.
We would just realize that we were in the middle of the segment because Dave would be telling a story about high school football, or I'd be talking about drinking in my dad's garage or something when we were younger. And then all of a sudden we'd be like, wait a second, are we doing a Glory Holes, Glory Days segment? Hit the music. And then I would fade in the fucking Glory Days.
Yeah.
And you could do that without any thought of retribution of YouTube getting censored, whatever.
Yep. Wild West.
We did that all the time. It would be
It was
like,
fun.
it'd be
That
like,
was
yeah,
a
Dave was
premiere
like,
segment of that era.
yeah, Glory Holes.
And it'd just be me talking about how I like threw
Yeah.
out a kid trying to steal.
He's
second
like,
base.
Durkin fucking cuts left.
Yeah.
I fucking flattened that middle linebacker. You should have seen him. His cleats were pointing to the
chewing
fucking
on
sky.
Did
I had
you just
18 touchdowns.
Did you just lean into the mic with a sunflower seed?
That was a good crunch.
That was a very good.
Sorry,
crunch.
I
I
apologize.
didn't even know you were doing that, and I heard it. I was like,
Sunflower seeds are. You're one of them, or you're not. You're a guy who's into them, or you're not.
I have to have them on a baseball field.
What's your favorite flavor?
Ranch.
Regular.
I was
Regular.
ranch.
Ranch is just chews up the mouth. It's like eating two. Have you ever gone to the, like the candy store? They sell candy by like the weight by the pound. And you're a kid, you have no concept of weight or how much this, and you walk out of there with like $27 worth of fucking sour gummy bears, and then your tongue and your lips blister because you just put.
You'll taste
Nothing.
something next week.
Yeah.
Like you're just, you're shredding. Yeah.
Dude, do you like that when it's like weighed like that and you don't know what you're getting?
Oh, dude, they the
What do you
markup
mean
on
you don't
those
know
is
what you're
so
getting?
high.
I don't know. I feel like that's just an archaic way of life.
Candy stores?
Throwing stuff on a scale.
Yeah. Like just fucking distribute it.
Pricing
You
it by
want
the
it
pound.
prepackaged.
Yeah, I just want to know.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me guess. Like, that makes everything take longer, more uncertainty to
Ed.
everything. What, you're going to say you...
90% of the shit you get like at a deli counter or at a butcher, you know what it is. So if you're buying it just pre-packaged, you know you're buying 2 pounds of ground beef.
Yeah, but
or
you have
whatever.
an expert
So
there
you know
serving you
about-
meat. I think butcher shops are a little bit different than when you are weighing, parsing
Your
it out
candy.
yourself.
No, of course.
So
I
like in
know
those
that.
situations where you have to go in, you're the one scooping the
But
fucking.
I know how much candy I want.
You don't even like candy, so why
That's
don't you
true.
just keep it?
Yeah.
keep it down.
You
over
probably
I
like,
like
those
chocolate.
fucking
gonna tell you,
wafers with
why don't
like
you
the,
pipe down?
the beads in the middle.
Ew.
You like those? Those UFOs?
Dave would play on the playground all day with one of those necklaces and then eat it on the bus ride home.
Oh, you
Wait. I have no fucking clue what you guys are
Candy
talking
necklaces?
about.
fucking
yeah,
White
yeah,
Sox
yeah.
Dave's neck beard and that necklace. That's, you
I
don't-
bet you he had one of those
You
neck
got
beards
a
in
worse
7th
neck
grade
beard than
too.
I do.
Fair.
Yeah.
So do you.
Fact.
Well, it's not worse. It's just that it's
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
only worse because I can't grow where I'm supposed to grow.
Making it
but
thus
we still have
worse.
the
So
same
it's
volume
worse?
in the neck.
It's
Well,
not
I have a
worse. It's just not as
beard.
good.
I definitely have worse facial hair, but I don't
Your
have.
neck beard is worse than mine is.
It's the same.
It's not
You
the
just
same.
By
have-
far has the best facial hair in this. room.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Dude,
But
it's so
you-
good, and he just doesn't embrace it.
There's something weird that you could have like this badass sick fucking
So
beard.
I'll say this. Can I shout out a free ad real quick?
nope, not at all.
No, I'll shout out the name. Dustin, free. I know you're listening, my barber. He actually, I'm like, hey, do you guys do the old school, like
The straight
barbershop
edge.
with the
Yeah, they
straight
do.
edge? And yes, they do. So they do it there. And I'm like, how much does that cost? And I think he said $50. I'm like, I'm not paying $50 to get shaved. And they're like, no, dude, it takes like an hour, and they like really do it right. And this is the last time I got a haircut, so a week ago, and I left the place, and I get a text from him 5 minutes later. He's like, hey, compliments on the house. Boss said on us next time you come in. I'm like, fucking done. So next time I get a haircut, I'm going to do that. So I'll have to grow it out.
Get the hot. I
Yeah.
think Eddie likes one of those.
I've always wanted to try.
I've never gotten one, but I want to
Yeah.
try. But for $50, like I don't
What do
care.
you do it the
I get
Tuesday
them,
before
yeah.
Thanksgiving, or what is your routine?
No, I just my guy Michael, he'll shave me up like that, but I don't do it every time because I don't really go that close anymore. You know, you
Yeah.
gotta have a pretty good fucking face for that.
Jawline. Yeah. If
you
I
know?
when I it's gonna
Not
be a
me.
reward for myself when I lose weight.
Oh, that's your trip to Bali?
Shouldn't it be?
You know.
if you lose weight,
It is
Thank you,
nice
David.
though. I mean, if you go to a barber and they don't shave your neck like that,
Oh,
with
Oh
the
no,
shaving
he
cream
takes.
steroids,
He does
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
on my neck.
I know, but
yeah.
I'm just
not a
saying for
barbershop.
reference, like if it's not, don't go there.
Take down the spinny spirally red,
Yep.
white, and blue thing outside. If
Exactly.
you're not doing that, I got a guy who does that. His name is Sal, but the barbershop is Joe's. Or no, his name is Joe, and the barbershop is Sal. So when I get in there, and I'm like, meet him
actually
for the
know your
first time.
barber.
I'm like, hey, yeah, what's up, dude? Big White Sox fan.
I know
And
your
I'm like,
barber.
hey, nice to meet you. Are you Sal? He was like, no, I'm Joe. I own the place. I'm like, it's called Sales. You know, one of those. I like those places. Anyways, big episode today. Vibes are high. We're feeling great. Dave,
I
Are the vibes
will start by
high,
saying
Dave?
that, yeah, vibes are good. You don't think vibes are good?
I think they are.
I think the vibes have been better.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
the vibes
I
are
think you
great.
could say that about a lot of things. I mean,
Yeah.
we're grinding.
I'm gonna lower the vibes though.
Oh god.
I would have rather the Bears gotten blown out by 50 and Fields thrown for 303 tutties than winning that game last week and Fields looking like the worst quarterback in the NFL. Thoughts?
waiting
would've
for
been-
Tom to fall out of his chair.
That would have been a poor experience for those that were at the game. And shout out to those who went to the game with the Game Time app.
Oh yeah, we use Game Time, man.
The exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Created by fans for fans, Game Time is a new ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, what are you waiting for? Tons of Barstool fans are using it, and they're hitting us up on social to tell us about the great deals that they're getting. Carl, you're looking at something? You're eyeballing?
No, I love Game Time. Have I ever told you guys a story about I was like in high school and we were trying to go to this concert and my buddies were like, yo, we got to get tickets. We couldn't find tickets, so we go to Craigslist. And we're on Craigslist. We get the tickets. They were super expensive. It was like, I think it was like $300 a ticket, but we really wanted to go to the show. And it was just like the Wild Wild West days. So we end up and we spend the $300. We like wire it to this guy. We drive out, we park, we get in line and we find out we're in line. We get scammed in the tickets. We spent like $1,200 overpaid. It was one of the worst experiences of my life when we were in high school. And ever since then, I've just been reluctant with ticketing experiences because, you know, it's a difficult thing. And then Game Time comes along. And
Saves the day.
It just has saved the day. I'll never be in a situation again where I get scammed on Craigslist for concert tickets when I'm with my buddies. And I want to thank Game Time for that exclusive ticketing partner, Barstool Sports, lowest price guaranteed.
Beautiful. Download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code RLR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. But David,
No, he has to get out of the studio. I can't tell a story. I can't pretend to be White Sox Dave in a story and not get a reaction from him. There's no way that registered on him.
I kept waiting for him to do like
I was
the,
be like, was he talking about me? Nothing.
the-
Dave's just in. What are you doing? Are you
the
fucking writing a speech?
The Kramer Peterman thing from Seinfeld, where
Dave is
Peterman like
deep in his
paid
laptop.
him to have all of his life stories. Like you just did that, and Dave.
Nothing. Not a reaction. Just after we got done doing How Are the Vibes? Not a reaction from Dave.
Vibes are good.
I fucking repurposed one of his all-time classics on this show. It's tough, man.
I thought you were going to tell the Dante story.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going at.
Well,
and
you didn't think shit, dude. You're in the middle of a message board right now. What were you thinking?
I'm not in the middle of a message board. I'm in Dente's crosshairs.
Wow,
So
what
I was
happened?
dealing with that shit. I don't know. He tweeted some fucking clip. The clip after I had to leave early the other day, of course, that is making its way across the internet. But
There should be. You should
I
just
thought
get.
you were gonna talk-
You need 24 hours off Twitter. Not a suspension. Just-
please, fucking
A vacation,
yeah.
like take
but
all social media from me.
But I would also say that this is probably the worst time ever for Dave to take a vacation. Imagine trying to take a vacation the week where Dave's like,
Have
you
I
don't do
ever
any work.
taken a vacation?
I don't keep track of your vacations, but
I took one to Vegas on New Year's 2020, 2021. But that's
every
going
day's
off.
on, every day's off. I think. You know, it's like
yeah,
you're on, you're off.
yeah.
You don't vacate. Where would you vacate? Like White Sox Dave solo trip.
Arizona.
One trip. No, one true vacation.
That's a good question. I don't know. I've never been out of the country.
Daytona Beach.
I don't know, Caribbean. Do you have cell service down there? Probably.
Yeah,
Very
dude.
much so. What about like
They got
some remote
fucking-
island in the Pacific where there's no cell service?
He's never taken a vacation, but let it be known that if Sidney Wells does go to Hawaii for outdoors content, you would be willing to go.
Yeah,
For work.
Fuck yeah. That's
Why
what-
did he recently make himself available for that trip?
There was like, I forget, it was like an email or something. It was like, oh, I'm definitely in for that. It's like, yeah, no shit. I think everyone, I would love to go.
You
I
would
don't
go to
think-
Hawaii?
What?
Yeah,
What
I
are
don't-
we even talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sydney had sent out an email allegedly based on what Eddie's saying.
I don't know if it was an
Hawaii?
email. I forget exactly what happened, but it was something about Hawaii, and you're like, oh yeah, I definitely would go. And it's like, yeah, who the fuck wouldn't?
I want to go.
It was to Hawaii. Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure Hawaii, maybe possibly a slight chance it was Alaska.
I think it was
Well,
Alaska you were
yeah.
talking about, and
That was rediscovering, I thought.
that was had already been talked about.
Did you go to Alaska?
No, I didn't.
No.
Poll results are in. 40% of our audience thinks that it's White's WSD.
You're welcome.
30% say White Sox Dave, one word, capitalized WSD in it though. So
I
White
think that
Sox
looks
Dave.
ugly.
Only 16% say White Sox Dave, 3 words, and then 14% are on board with your current branding, lowercase Dave. Sounds like that's gonna be an uphill battle, Dave.
But it's his brand. He can do with.
Yeah, I mean, it's up
what
to
he
you.
what he wants. He's just Dave. I'm Dave.
All right. I
You
guess
wanna
we
do
can
it?
get to our quarterback getting raked over the coals.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Did you have a chance to watch it?
Yes, I watched yesterday.
That is dedication because you were doing that charity event for Danny Golden up at
Yes.
the so you didn't get to watch it live, and I told you not to.
I know, like the way people are talking about it. So, like you said, I wasn't able to watch it. I was emceeing that fundraiser for Danny Golden, and the way people are talking, I was like, come on, it can't be that bad. But it wasn't the message they were delivering; it was the face in which they were delivering the message. And you had it, Lance. You had it, Chief. I don't know if we talked about it, Dave, but
Briefly,
pretty
we did,
much
but
anyone
yeah.
who we talked about was like,
Yeah.
like you're trying to say something nice about a child who just sucks, but you're like,
Yeah.
they're just a kid. It was tough messaging.
Did you make the same face?
Yeah, it was pretty putrid.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucking putrid.
And we
Keeps throwing
did
bad
talk
picks
about
over
it.
the middle of the field to safeties. That's 4.
Yeah,
We did talk about it, and this is what I said. And you were, I don't want to say pissed, but I could tell that you didn't really believe me when I said it. I said that was worse than any game Mitch Trubisky's ever had. And
Oh yeah, you did tell me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't say that necessarily to compare the two quarterbacks because I think that's a stupid exercise as a whole. But obviously that's a natural reaction. I thought that was one of the worst quarterback games I have seen in a long time.
I would agree.
Especially from a first-round pick.
Do you think that maybe Ed dismissed your take at first because you're a big time this guy stinks guy?
But that's not...
It's like a kid who cries wolf, though.
That's
And
not.
it's
I'm
also-
not. Every time I say that, it's because he stinks. I'm not
It's
trying
also-
to just say that.
It's also revisionist history. Like you don't exactly recall every single one
Yeah.
of Mitch's starts. I'm sure there was
Yeah, of
one that was
course, yeah.
equally bad, and I think we're also seeing now that Mitch is also still not a very good quarterback.
Yep.
And regardless, I don't know what you were comparing them because you just brought that up. Regardless, it was terrible.
Yep.
He takes way too fucking long to throw the ball.
Is that his fault or is it the offensive system's fault?
I mean, the guy, he had guys running
probably his
open.
fault.
I think
Oh,
it's his
yeah, that-
fault.
that-
and like, people have been like, oh, well, the line and this and that. The line has been like, if you listen to like Pro Football Focus or Jeff Saturday had a segment on it, he said the Bears line had like the best game of any line in the league, and that Braxton Jones graded out as like the 4th best tackle through 3 weeks based on people who know what they're looking at better than us. So it's not an issue of protection, and it's just an issue of like
And that
it's
first
a
pick-
little.
if he has statistically the longest time to throw
Then
in the
it's
pocket,
okay.
then
It seemed like there was a lot of times where, like, a lot of people are bitching at him right now for taking too many sacks, and very, very it's justified in doing so.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a handful of sacks where it's like nobody in the league's escaping that. That's a sack no matter what, and that's what I was talking about. So, but to your point on that interception, Kmet there wasn't anybody within 10
The
yards
first
of him.
one?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a freshman year St.
Yes.
Lawrence versus Bishop McNamara high school interception.
Yep.
From directly to him, to the way the duck snorted on the fucking end of the football, it was disgusting.
To how wide open St. Brown was, at
and St. Brown was very open on both of his interceptions.
I would, and the second interception, I did like a screenshot, which I know it's like a little hacky because I can't even imagine what it looks like when you're in the pocket. But like that's his job, and he had Komet running a 5-yard out wide open, and he had the flat wide open, and I think he had somebody else, and he threw it into quadruple coverage and got picked. So it's just like
Not great.
Yeah, triple cover.
It's bad. I wrote the blog after the Packer game where I'm like, this is the first time where I have like genuine doubt. Now it's getting to the point like I want to believe. I'm trying to believe. I'm hopeful. And if you look up, someone sent me a tweet today. I think he actually sent it to all of us. But if you look up Josh Allen's first 16 starts or something like that, he had putrid numbers, like 51% completion, and like he didn't have weapons, and they didn't have the right system. And then he kind of, he turned into like an MVP guy. So like I don't want to like bury him completely 3 games in a year, but like my optimism, and I'm an optimist by nature, is dwindling fast.
And everything makes it all the more worse, in my opinion. The fact that if you really was zoned in and watched those interceptions, he zoned in on those guys. Like that was a keyed pass. That wasn't like his like last option, and then like he did something stupid. That was like he wanted to do that, and that was the result.
Statistically, favors very favorable to Josh Allen through his first, I think it was like however many starts so far, where he's like outperformed him statistically. I don't know if anybody cares about that, but to me, it's the crispness. Like if he is going to be as good as he can be, it's going to be because he's making plays like Josh Allen, where he's out of the pocket, guys are missing. We've seen athleticism that is very exciting, but again, if you can't, missing the throw, calling it a freshman JV throw is exactly what it is. The fact that the safety's walking away with a pick, he didn't make a fucking play.
No.
He didn't make a play at all.
Yeah.
So those are the turnovers that you just can't. You can't talk about being a good quarterback if that's the play. I don't know.
Yeah,
There was bad positives.
Running game.
Well, even Justin Fields.
Okay.
He owned it.
Yeah. I played like trash. Played terrible. Really have to be better.
Didn't throw anyone under the bus. Mm-hmm. You like to see that.
Yep.
You like to see that.
Yep.
How far does that go though?
Goes the rest of this whole year, I think. And then you got to start, like this coaching staff has a year with him, and then they probably have next year with him. But like they're not tied to him, so I think that he's going to have a long leash. What are you going to do? Put Trevor Siemian in there? Like you're not. So it's his team.
Of course, yeah.
It's his team, and we'll see how it goes. But I there's this other quote from Jay Glazer saying that the Bears management is, quote, really sold on Justin Fields. So I don't know. I think it's too early to start talking
I don't think it is, because to Ed's point at the beginning of the year, after game 1 it was a fucking hurricane. No one's throwing the ball 40 times in that. Game 2 against the Packers national TV, maybe you don't want to put Justin Fields in a spot where he's throwing the ball 30, 35 times, because then it could get really embarrassing, and the entire organization is going to be the ire of national media for that week. Week 3 comes along, and it's against a dog shit Houston Texans team. Sure, they pull out a win, but he threw the ball 17 times, right? 17?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. They didn't adjust anything. They are intentionally, and
it's hard to adjust though when a guy has 157 yards on 20 carries.
Yes, that too. They were running the ball down their throat. You don't fix what's not broken.
Damn
for
if
sure.
you do, damn if you don't, because you get fucking roasted if you don't keep running the ball when a guy is running at that much success rate.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gutsy had to do what he had to do. I wonder, do you guys want to? Do you envision a world where they just they tweak it a little bit to have him run more?
Yeah, like Lamar.
Yeah, people might come back and be like, "That's fucking stupid. Here's why Lamar's this," but like I don't care. Like we're in the interest of discussions, and like I don't care. If people
fuck
think
whatever. I don't give a fuck at all about that. I want to talk about this. Yes.
Honestly, I don't. Why not?
What's the goal though?
Well, like what's the goal for how many carries?
No. If you're going to shift your offense to being like we're going to have him run more, what is the goal? Are you trying to win games? You're trying to develop a quarterback.
You're getting more value out of that position.
I think you only do that next year and you've given up on him as a passer completely. Like he's still 23. He still hasn't played more than, not even a full season. So I don't like that. I think you only do that where it's like he has no future. If you have If you're seeing him every day and you believe that he can turn into a guy who can win you games as a passer, you have to like develop him as a passer. And I'd rather lose and lose ugly than be like, we have to shift our offense to be like.
But that's where I do disagree a little bit, because that's kind of the way the NFL is going. Like there are more running quarterbacks, and this is how, that's why do you think Shanahan's so fucking bullish on Trey Lance? Because he wants to use him in that regard more.
Yeah.
And,
there's more protections available to quarterbacks than there ever has been, too. So I think there's maybe front offices are in front of that trying to be like, all right, well, they're,
But it's like you have to be like, if you're trying to just win games, sure. But like you're not
sure you're trying, like
he has to be better as a passer if they're ever going to win in a real way. If you want to get to 9 wins, you could probably do what you're saying. But if you want to get to a team where Fields is like your guy,
but then I think you're completely disregarding the Lamar Jackson, what he does.
See, like, but I don't think Fields can be Lamar, and I don't think that you can win in the playoffs playing that way either. Like, you have to be able to do everything against the best teams.
So you don't think Lamar Jackson will ever win a meaningful game?
You bet against it?
That's just a genuine question.
I mean, I would probably say no. Like, I don't think a Lamar Jackson led team, and I think he's spectacular, but I don't think he'll ever be as good as the other AFC quarterbacks, and I think that matters. So I don't think he'll ever be better than Josh Allen. I don't think he'll ever be better than Pat Mahomes. And it's like I would be nervous about a team where it's like we got down 2 scores in the fourth quarter against a good team in the playoffs. What are you going to do?
Air it out, yeah.
What are you going to do?
I mean, I think there's enough to be negative about it or to poke holes in it, but I think there's more to be optimistic to say under the present path, like, Fields doesn't look good. So are we going to sit here and be like, all right, well, hopefully 10, 12 weeks from now, well, how the fuck are you going to, how do you close the gap between some of the misses and some of the mistakes?
Yeah.
And so at Eddie's point, it's not necessarily, you don't have to be Lamar Jackson. Nobody's going to be that good. If he was, they'd already be doing it.
Yep.
But to introduce that, and if he can have success where it's a legitimate threat that he's going to get 6-7 yards on a designed run and make and create pain for the defense, and those guys are a little bit more wide open, well, he fucking needs that. He needs every step he can get. And I don't know how you could say, Lamar Jackson win a Super Bowl, not win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's a fucking team game.
Yeah, I know.
Like, we are sitting here going 2018, that Bears team would have gone to the Super. I shouldn't say we, but the collective consensus around the 2018 Bears is that team was good enough to go to the Super Bowl. And now we say that in hindsight with like, well, Mitch is not a good quarterback, and that was early in his career. It's a whole team environment. And if the Bears can get Justin Fields in a position where, like, they move the ball, they score points, he's confident, the offense is growing, all this stuff, it just makes it easier in the offseason when you're going to go spend all that cap space and where like, we don't need the best offense in the world. We need like a top 15 offense in the league. Like, historically speaking, that's what's going to get the Bears, like a top 15 offense and just a fucking solid defense, and then go get some playmakers.
But my counter to that would be like that formula that you're like, that's kind of like the Lovey formula. It has never delivered a Super Bowl. So it's like, again, it's the same question I said. What are your goals? Your goals better be to have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. And if you're going to be running doing design quarterback runs as part of your offense, that's fine. And the Lamar thing, like, I think that you can be a very good team for a long time playing that way, winning 10, 12 games a year. But when you get in the playoffs and you need a 2-minute offense and you don't have a guy that can, get you 80 yards in 45 seconds with one timeout.
So where would you put Stafford, most recent Super Bowl quarterback?
In the league?
Yeah.
He's
Like
top
what tier?
7.
Tier what?
A tick. Yeah, it's
Probably
just-
not 1 or 2.
No, he's not.
I would say 2.
He's like
Justin
probably,
Herbert's on the fringe 1 too, right? He's clearly
He's
in the
getting
second
there.
Yeah,
tier.
I'd say Stafford's more
Stafford's-
fringe 2, 3.
Yeah.
But 2, I would put him in the second tier.
Bottom of 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
And to me, the Rams won with scheme offensively. They have obviously
Awesome
great
defense.
but the fucking defense rolls.
Yeah.
So like, are we looking at Justin Fields and saying you have to be as good as Aaron Rodgers to go win a Super Bowl, or does he have to be good enough to go win playoff games on the road?
Can he just get to a point where he's Jalen Hurts? Like, that's like that. I think that is like Jalen Hurts is way better than I ever thought he would be. But like, he runs, and even like this, you guys are gonna like talk so much shit about this. Jacoby Brissett runs. No, listen.
I thought you were gonna bring up fucking what's his name?
Tua?
No, who's the Tennessee quarterback that you
Oh,
like?
Tyler
yeah.
Bray.
Tyler Bray.
sorry.
No.
No,
But like if you watch
Or
that
Teddy
game,
Bridgewater's another good example.
Yeah, but if you watch that game with Brissett, he just gets the like. He's not like great, but he just gets the like. He knows how to run the offense, and it's like he's a much more polished quarterback than Fields is, obviously at this point. And it's like you need a guy who can just be able to like give your defense a blow. You know, like at least get a couple first downs.
That's not why they drafted him, though.
I know that's not why they drafted him, but it's like, can they get to a point where he is even tier 3? Because I think if you can, like to your point, like you can build a team that can win a Super Bowl around a guy who can at least, move the ball. It doesn't have to be Rodgers or Mahomes. You can win with that second tier, but you got to have everything else. And it's like I don't even know if he gets a second tier.
So then they probably have what's the rookie deal? The window with him is like
4
obviously
years with an option with a 5th.
This year we're not.
No.
Okay, but so then it's like, can they go get enough guys next year and you see enough promise where they can like take the offense the next step next year and we'll go put a bunch of fucking guys in free agency around on the defensive side, go get some dogs, draft well. We got a full draft coming up. Now we're getting away from stuff. I should just say we're 2-1. They are playing the Giants.
Like I said, I don't give a shit.
They can be
the record is.
3-1.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Well, fuck it. We looked ahead the first week. I'll look ahead here. They have 3 winnable games in a row. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is a world we live in where we're sitting in front of these microphones and they're 5-1.
Yeah, and there's a world we look in where they lose all 3. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
that's true too. But like I mean, Giants who and then Commanders. Giants
Vikings.
Do you think our audience is? Do you think they're more in line with we could be 5-1 or we're probably going to be 2-4?
Ask that one more time.
You think our audience is saying, "Oh, we could be 5-1,"
Probably 2-4.
or do you think they're going
2-4?
2-4.
I would say.
I'll put it out there. I think it's a bigger percentage of people are being like, "What about 5-1?" I think so.
Yeah, because they're 2-1 right now.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't
People that show up and tune into
But I
this
don't know
that
how
want to
you
listen
can-
to us talk about the Bears.
But I don't know how you can
I don't know if
do
they're-
that when you watch how this guy is playing quarterback right now.
I think it's like the most negative a team with a winning record has ever been.
Yeah, I'm saying if
I
someone's
don't know. I
if
was
someone's willing to like
pretty
show, if
fucking
someone's
negative when
watching
they're
this on
3-1.
YouTube, if someone's
Yeah, but
looking at me right now on YouTube.
You're pointing at Lance. Is that what you're saying? This guy?
Yeah.
Like, Lance, no offense, but you're a guy, if I shit on your desk, you'd be like, all right, I'm just happy I didn't have corn today. like, you're just a nice guy.
Well,
You're a
he's-
normal
I
guy.
think I do think Lance is more in a position where he's like the young guy in a work environment where I
Yeah.
think we're getting a nicer side of Lance. Not to say Lance isn't nice, but I think you're getting the side of him where he is very much the intern who's nervous.
Yeah, to some extent. I think, I
Yeah.
think, you guys mess me a little bit. I'll just be like, yeah, I'm kind of happy to just be a part of it.
Yeah.
But speaking on that, I think I'm closer to 5-1. Giants, that's a winnable game. Commanders is a winnable game. Vikings,
Now,
Commanders are
Now,
fucking
that's a good
horrible.
comparison.
we can take down those two teams. That's why I'm saying that. Like,
And how old are you, Lance?
25.
A young guy. He hasn't been. Not
hasn't been
everybody
jaded yet.
has been jaded. Like we start to have to adopt the fact that like we're getting older.
Yeah.
Like we aren't the young guys in the Bears audience being like, well, like there's now younger people coming up that are like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no. But Briggs left the Lamborghini on the freeway. It's like, oh, it's cool he had a Lamborghini. Like, no, that was a bad.
I remember I was in
was
my
not good.
I was in my first job, or maybe it was an internship when they traded for Cutler, and like a guy who was like 30 started like crying, tears of joy. Like he was.
I was fucking fist bumping in my
yeah,
phone.
You
like,
weren't 30,
but Lance,
I know.
how old were you when that
Everybody
happened?
was-
You
Probably like
2008. You were 11.
Yeah, I was 11.
okay? So like,
It's not even really registering for you.
I also I actually bumped into him on the street outside of Cody's yesterday. My buddy Ian, when they signed Cordell Stewart, took the Tribune and hung it up in his locker saying, we finally got the guy. So like you haven't, like Lance has not been through
See,
like,
I was like
Cordell
11
Stewart.
when that happened.
It'd be funny to like now put in the clip of your guys' reaction to Justin Fields getting drafted because you guys were back as little kids almost crying.
I know.
yeah.
Well, they made a move, man. They made a move.
I know. I'm just saying it.
We
But-
thought that
and,
they were
like-
going to make a
And
move.
can we talk
And
about
you
that for a
know-
second? How did that fucking regime get 2 chances at a quarterback?
No, we've
It's-
talked about that for years.
Oh, I know, and that it's fucking maddening. I know, and same thing with how that fucking regime, like, it makes me mad too. Like we knew Khalil Herbert was good, and like I don't know why we don't use this guy more to our advantage. We did again, and he plays his lights out. But regardless, you know what it's like. You know, like
yeah,
you weren't
yeah,
sitting
I'm
there being
agreeing.
like, I'm fucking pumped up about Zach Wilson. You're just like, all right, like
Hope this
I
is
don't
it.
have a choice, and I'm going to
Yeah.
be pumped up about it.
Yeah.
You know, unless if you have strong reason not to be pumped up, like say when the Giants fans were they, you know, if you watch a lot of Big Ten football and you wanted Dwayne Haskins over Daniel
Yeah.
Jones. you
Oh,
know,
every
a big
QB
F.
that the Jets have drafted up until they played, was the best quarterback available in the draft. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Uh-huh.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
you know, that's a good comparison. Like
I never liked him.
His Fields, like, is that like a Daniel Jones ceiling at this point?
But like the thing about like and there's like Twitter receipts for this from draft night in 17. I always thought Trubisky stunk. I thought Fields was awesome. Like I was prepared for Trubisky to like fail. I'm blindsided, I think, by how
I was the
And
opposite.
to be clear, I don't think any of us are throwing in the towel on Fields.
No,
like I know
no.
this kind of sounds like we are, and it
You
sucks
know
we're
what
talking
made
about
me-
him
It's just
turning
bad,
in-
but the bad play has been bad enough and obvious enough where, like, again, the throws over the middle that get picked off for those aren't tip balls. Those
No.
aren't like, miscommunication on a route. Those are just bad passes.
Yeah, and I don't want to be sitting here talking about him turning into a runner heading into week 4.
yeah,
That sucks.
26 carries.
That sucks.
It does.
Taysom Hill.
That sucks. Yes,
Yeah.
that really sucks. You know what doesn't suck? TaylorMade.
Oh, baby. We talk about the sweet spot. We talk about unloading on a golf ball. We talk about TaylorMade guys. And honestly, we talk about the stealth carbon wood drivers. How hard is it to make a driver face out of carbon? Well, it took TaylorMade 20 years to get it right. And they finally got it right. Why
Good things
carbon?
take time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why carbon?
Because it gives you a better energy transfer and faster ball speeds across the face. That's huge. That's huge. That's why carbon. That's to answer your question. That's
on
why
the
you do
elemental
carbon.
table.
Yes.
They have chemists and scientists.
Yes. So TaylorMade compressed 60 layers of that carbon to create carbon twist face in the new Stealth drivers. Experience carbon for yourself. Stealth is now in store. So check them out wherever you get your golf stuff. TaylorMade. TaylorMade's the best. And they're just like the logo sweet. Everything about TaylorMade has always been sweet. They're the sweetest golf company.
I on the subject of the stealth, I saw Martin Keimer sitting stealth, just 350, 340,
Easy.
just bombing it. If it's
Yeah.
good enough for him, 2-time major champ, pushed against me, not a big deal. but
For the record, I did
TaylorMade,
use
check 'em
the
out.
stealth 2 weeks back.
You hit it an inch.
it's a 2-man read,
Oh, yeah.
Dave. TaylorMadeGolf.com/Barstool. All right, you get the next one, Dave.
Beautiful.
And you're going to like the next one.
No, I'm just saying I was hitting the ball about 350 off the tee.
Were you?
Shit.
Overextension, aggressive hips. So Giants, last thoughts. We're figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
What if they are 5-1?
I think they're going to beat the
saying
Giants. I think they're going to beat the Giants.
Think they are?
I
I think they're going to go in there and run the fucking ball down their throat.
I'm way more confident if the Giants win on Monday night and they're 3-0. Like, you know how that
like
how
it's
it
a
works.
desperation
Like, yeah, exactly.
game for
They
them
need
too.
to lose, yeah.
Yeah,
Like they're due for a loss.
Yeah, like the Giants. It's a very pivotal game for
Yeah.
them,
I'll wrap
Pivotal.
up with
Yes.
this last thought from myself, but
and a very pivotal game for their quarterback. Who, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna. Daniel Jones.
I was talking to he's a friend, but I've never met him in person. He's also in media, blue check guy. We were DMing back and forth the other day. He's a huge Bears fan. And he was telling me, and he does he subscribes to Pro Football Focus, pays all the money to get all the analytics and shit. One of those guys for football. And sort of like, I don't know, like Carl and I would be for baseball with Fangraphs and that stuff. But anyways, he's like, yeah, basically Fields would have to be a historical outlier to be like a even quality quarterback in the future at this point, because no quarterbacks that ever amount to anything are doing what Justin Fields is doing right now. And that's what gave me a fuck ton of pause. Because if we're hoping that he becomes something, we'd just be arguing the exception to the rule, which is not fun to think about.
What are you worked up over?
No, if I was a Bears fan, I would not want to hear that.
That's exactly. I didn't want to hear that. I did not want to hear that, because that took away like 99% of the hope I had that he's going to turn into something good.
Not to play defense attorney, but I just want to discredit this guy instantly right now.
I do
Like,
too.
all I know,
I
blue
hope so.
check mark, never met him in person, kind of Bears fan, we think, subscribes to stuff.
I also don't think you can
know.
look at a guy who played who came into the league in '99 and be like, well, that means Fields
Jake
got to
Plummer's
suck.
had a
It's
great
true.
start.
Yeah,
Jake Plummer's
so like
percentage.
everybody,
But
you're not supposed to be able to use the past to predict the future.
Look at you, Black Scholes model.
I think
That's
you can.
11-3 of
History
financial.
repeats itself.
Third level of financial prediction.
Yep.
Do you
Black
think Justin
Scholes.
Fields is going to be a good quarterback?
I don't know.
Of course you don't know. I'm not. It's a yes or no question though.
Well, I would have
What do you think, Chief?
3 weeks ago, I would have said yes.
Right now, what do you think?
You just answered it for us. You just your hesitation. I don't anymore. I'll say that right there.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
I
But
think it'll be
I'm
fine.
not where I was
I think
3
it'll be
weeks
fine.
ago. But I'm not where you are. Where you're sounds like you're just out.
I think it'd be fine.
I mean, you have no I have no problem
Faces
writing
the
this
music
out.
well.
And
That's
I-
my thing.
Did Mitch face it poorly? I can't. That's an honest
I
question.
thought Mitch was a little shy about it.
Yeah.
And was a little like
Timid
and
insecure.
uncomfortable. It seemed
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And
That's a fair
and that
point,
there was
yeah.
more stuff he wanted to talk about. I was like, I don't even know how to explain this. But if Justin Fields is going to get up there and say, I need to be better, then perfect. Then we're past all this other shit. Now we don't have to sit here and be like, well, Luke Getsy didn't do this for him, or the receivers not. If Justin Fields is going to sit up there and say, it's up to me, then it's up to him. Then we don't have to waste time and be like, well, the offense, fine, then go fucking do it.
And it's like, you know, the way that they're running the ball, which is incredible. If he was just hitting like 4 of these balls, you know, like we're talking like 4 more completions a game. Like he hits St. Brown on that. He doesn't throw the like maybe 1 interception instead of 2 terrible ones. It's just 1. Then you're winning that game against the Texans going away, and everybody is kind of a little bit more. So it's just like cleaning it up. And now I feel like I'm talking about Mitch again. Can you just be a little bit better? Can you just be a little bit better? And
Time is a flat circle.
yeah, but that I do think that
Certainly is.
they're running the ball so well that they just need, you know, just clean it up a little bit. It's tough though. It's not fun being in Chicago.
It is a little edgy. I don't want to sit here. I mean, we did this last week. The White Sox season's over. There really isn't that much to talk about.
No, there isn't. I have not watched a single pitch since Tuesday of last week when I went and they rolled over and let the Cleveland Guardians rub their belly, and then they rolled over and let maybe the worst team in baseball, the Detroit Tigers, rub their belly. And then last night, I checked the box score a few minutes ago, didn't even think about turning that baseball game on. They got 2 hit by Bailey Ober. Do you know who Bailey Ober is, Chief?
Nope.
Ed, do you know who Bailey Ober is?
I can't say I do.
Carl, do you know who Bailey Ober
I
is?
mean, I have no clue, David.
I'm not trying to like throw you under the bus or anything.
I mean, why?
You're trying to Gonzaga?
No, I don't expect.
I mean, I
Carl
would guess. I would guess Bailey. I would guess Bailey Over is probably
I'm not trying to do that by any means.
25 to 26 years old. Is he left-handed?
He's a righty for the Twins. He is the most vanilla pitcher you've ever seen in your entire life. Actually, he's not horrific, but
I mean, 2 hit you guys. But they're falling
That's
apart.
my
You guys are
point,
falling
yeah.
apart. All right. The only thing I have for
we do got to talk Tony La Russa a little bit though. A lot of reports saying he's not even getting kicked up top, which is a favorite of Jerry Reinsdorf to do. But a lot of reports coming out that he will not be back next year.
Now, I came in after a golf outing and told you it was like 2 months ago. And I was like, hey, I was playing golf with a guy
I remember.
who's in this like memorabilia circle, and they're all super tight, you know? And he was saying some stuff, and I was like, I heard this about Tony, that they're going to, at some point, something's going to come up where it's like, oh, Tony's not going to be in the dugout, and it's going to look like it's a voluntary, better for the team thing.
Yeah.
And he's just, but they're like, decisions made. There's no way it's going over to Cairo. They love Cairo. It's going to be Cairo's team. Have you liked them under Cairo? No, right?
no,
I'd shake his head. No,
It's a fucking shame. Tony did nothing wrong.
Tony did plenty wrong, but this is what I do not want. I do not want anybody, and that includes AJ Pierzynski, who's like a fucking god to me. I love AJ Pierzynski, but it includes him. Jim Thome, his name's been floated out there, also a baseball god.
Never.
I don't want them just handing the fucking keys to the management position to anybody. I want them to fire Tony La Russa or let him walk away or whatever. I don't care. And I want them literally scouring. I want them doing a fucking cavity search on every organization in baseball and landing on someone who is the most qualified manager to run the team. And if that happens to be Miguel Cairo, I'm cool with it.
What about Don Mattingly? His name comes around if you ever gave him good talent, he's a good manager.
It doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if
just
it's
want
Abner
everyone.
Doubleday or Lance. It doesn't matter to me. So long as they they perform a search for who this next manager is going to be, and they scour the depths of baseball brains across the world. I don't care if he comes from Japan. Similar to like
What's
a
that
Mark.
supposed to mean? They got good baseball over there.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
You're
care
saying
where
that
he comes
if you got to
from.
go to the Far East,
The Far East
Go.
to Canada, Antarctica. I do not fucking care where he comes from so long as due diligence has been performed. I don't want anything just handed to anybody.
okay.
That's lazy to me. But I feel bad that Tony La Russa, because he's never going to manage again, obviously. I do feel bad that he is going out like this.
Well, he probably shouldn't come back.
He shouldn't have. And that is on both him and on Jerry Reinsdorf.
But this is why I drafted
But-
old people, because it's like, dude, your time is over. Even
Yeah.
if you think you can do it, like, why? Fuck you. There's somebody else out there that can manage that team, do a better job. They deserve the opportunity. But instead it goes to Tony La Russa and Jerry Reinsdorf, and they think they're smarter and they think they got a good plan. And it just bombed miserably. Now, he can't control whether or not those players are healthy. And I'm sure if you gave Tony La Russa an older roster of dudes that were healthy and went out and played, like, he probably manages a different team better. But it's an unfortunate situation for the White Sox. I agree with you on the manager search. If they just hand it over to Miguel Cairo out of like convenience and stuff, it's just disastrous. But
Worst old guy return.
what
Tony La Russa or Jay Leno?
is Jay? Where is Jay?
Yeah.
He's gone now, but you don't remember the
When
whole.
he
Oh, I
came
mean, when he
back,
came back with Conan was just
that was like
laughably
a
bad.
Brett
The
Favre
ego.
move,
That had to be like a money thing. where he
Honestly,
found
I don't
out
even
like,
remember that.
He retires and he sits down with his wealth advisor. It's like, hey, turns out those condos in fucking Albuquerque didn't really turn out, man, and you owe. You know, who knows?
You don't
Yeah.
know that story?
I don't.
Like Conan was like the heir apparent, and then Conan did it for like 6 months.
Less than a year.
Yeah. And then
And then
that's
he
when
came back and said, I want it back.
There's varying rumors of what happened, but they brought him back, and that's the end. That's the moral of the story. And it's, I don't know. He's talked about it. I don't know. It's not a.
Did you grow up in a Leno or Letterman house or either? Or was-
Neither, to be honest with you.
We started with Letterman and then it went over to Leno. So my dad used to love Letterman, and then I think at some point when I was in like 5th grade, then it was like we became a full Leno house. Leno was on every night, and it'd be like the only time you hear Dad laugh. He's like, "What's going on?" It's like
Yeah.
he's doing headlines.
Yeah.
I never really got into any
Tom,
of
you
them.
know what I'm
You
talking
were,
about?
Yeah, we were Letterman.
You were Tales of the Crypt.
But I think
household, Dave?
Letterman's way better, right?
yeah,
Isn't
we were.
Letterman like a way better host and a way better professional and stuff? Like Leno was more of the comedian and Letterman was more of the interviewer.
Yeah, I think Letterman got a lot of points for being like one of the best interviewers of all time.
And he was more of a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
heard that. Someone tweeted me that the other day. Like,
Ball State guy.
Yeah, I love that. And he's very active with Ball State. And
That's
proud
gotta
of
be
Ball
good,
State.
broadcast.
He funded their entire broadcast school.
That's so
It's like the
badass.
David Letterman School of Broadcasting.
We're bypassing my joke that White Sox, he was a Tales of the Crypt household, and you said that was true.
oh yeah, we watched it. It was awesome.
Oh, I love Tales.
I mean, I wouldn't say we would watch it to
about
laugh
Goosebumps?
at it.
Are you afraid of the
come on.
dark?
Are you
Oh,
afraid of the dark?
fuck.
Are
That's
you afraid of the
kids.
dark was legit scary.
It was legit scary. The
And
dummy,
he's too young to remember.
the dummy and Goosebumps
love
to this
Are You
day
Afraid
would
of the Dark?
scare me. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, Slappy?
Was that his name?
Hell yeah, that was
That was
Slappy.
they threw him in the well and then he popped out of it.
What's the Goosebumps author? What's his name?
R.L.
Stein.
That boy. All right. Now, who wrote?
Getting ready for
We're
the
we're
Chief-
like ready to hide.
Chief, don't answer this. Who wrote
All right.
Grapes of Wrath?
I actually
John
don't know.
Steinbach. You fucks.
I
was
thought
gonna say
that was
Weezer.
But
Of
R.L.
Mice and
Stein
Men
is
guy.
on top of stuff.
That's from VeggieTales.
Look it up. I mean, you're gonna find. It's always Chief.
why?
The fucking king of looking it up. You're gonna find John Steinbeck's name next to it.
Sure.
Sorry for doing Tony
you're
La
right.
Russa. My apologies. I
I didn't
took
read
us
that
off the
though.
rails.
What is it? Grapes of Wrath?
Yeah.
That's about the Oklahoma Dust Bowl?
Yeah,
And they got
depression
nowhere to
shit.
go? That's
Yeah.
tough stuff. That's tough stuff. Quick Cubs note, Christopher Morel is going to out-homer most of the players on the White Sox this year.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I saw a stat the other day.
Hey, baby!
Aaron Judge had,
How do you like that,
Yeah,
Dave?
by the end of
Aaron
May.
Judge had more home runs by the end of May than any White Sox player will more than likely have
All
unless
year.
someone hits like 5 in the next 9 games.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not gonna happen.
Probably not.
Oh, you know what? And I'd like to do just quick. I can do this in less than 2 minutes, I think. There's a player in the Cubs minor league system who deserves a shout out. His name is Matt Mervis. He was a pitcher at Duke, big guy, like 6'4", 230, but he wanted to play the field. And they were like, sorry. And he's like, I just want to play. I want to play. And so in 2019, he goes to the Cape Cod League to pitch. They're like, hey, I want to hit. He starts hitting, starts practicing, comes back 2020. Duke is like, sure, you're our first baseman now. It's his senior year. And he's just fucking killing it. Like he was on fire in the Cape, hit like 10 home runs in the Cape that year, his first year hitting. Goes out to Duke,
impressive.
COVID, plays 15 games, fucking season shut down, MLB drafts 5 rounds, so he doesn't get drafted. Cubs sign him. And we've been walking around with Cubs forever being like, when do we get a fucking awesome player that came from nowhere? Like, it never happens for the Cubs. And sure as shit, this dude is fucking killing it in the minors. His name's Matt Mervis.
MU or
They're
NE?
like best natural power swing we've ever seen. Like the guy's just come along perfectly and flawlessly. And so it's a guy that like I didn't even know about until a couple weeks ago. And they're like, have you heard about this guy's season? Everything's coming in. Now that like the minor league season's wrapped up and stuff, they're like, yo, this fucking guy, forget the corner infield situation. So if you haven't heard about Matt Mervis and you're a Cubs fan, look up the minor league stats. Dave's doing it now. He just had a sound effect.
he's I mean, pretty much paced at a nice, cool 150 weighted runs created plus over a 3-year stretch over about 150 games or so. That's pretty decent.
And so if he can be effective and cost $750,000 for 3 years while you hit the free agent market and try and load up on a couple guys.
Fuck, dude, he's walking almost as much as he's striking out. He's
Yep.
not like a Patrick Wisdom type where, you know, 1 or 2 outcomes.
And this is not like a flyer name where people are like, oh, this guy could turn into somebody who's very good. They're like, this guy's fucking big league ready and
ready
can
to
make
go.
it and make some damage. So there's
Why
your
hasn't he
Cubs
played
notes.
much?
It's just because of how like his first full season was 2021.
Right, but he's only played 27 games in 2022, 53 last. Oh no, okay, never mind. He
No,
played.
it's-
He played 110.
Yeah, he
this
played
year.
Double-A and
'Cause
Triple-A this
it
year.
Has both.
So they put
Oh
him
no,
up to-
I'm complete. Yeah, he did.
All
All
right.
right, because it usually shrinks.
We'll cut
each
all that
level.
out, Dave. So those were my Cubs notes.
So he's got. Yeah, he's had a little bit of a year.
I'm gonna use the bathroom.
All right, go.
And if
go
you're
use
looking to have a year, make sure you use Innovative ADD.
No, you got it.
InnovativeADD.com.
Mm-hmm.
InnovativeADHD.com. I used to be ADD.com.
Yep.
So yeah, if you have ADHD and you want a doctor who makes it easy to get your medication, Innovative Care is the answer. They are located right here in Chicago, and they have simplified ADHD management. Here's what you need to know. I like that. Just give us what you need to know. Innovative Care is a real medical clinic, not one of those online-only refill services. That's good. They also use telemedicine to save you time, and most ADHD patients only come in twice per year. And most of all, they take insurance.
Huge. Got it. This is so easy to do. You have to check it out. InnovativeADHD.com. And, you know, there's just one less thing on your plate. Just get in there, get your appointment, and get this routine going, because it is a real medical clinic. Like Eddie said, it is telemedicine. They do use your insurance. So it's just like going to the doctor without having to go to the doctor. It's perfect. So InnovativeADHD.com.
That's so nice. Telemedicine,
Yep.
like not having to go in every time.
Sneaky, one of those great internet innovations that people don't talk enough about.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So if you're a resident of Illinois, one more time, visit InnovativeADHD.com. To request a visit, that's InnovativeADHD.com.
Yeah. Do you want me to give you guys a little bit of hope?
Sure.
Hawks have some guys.
Gutman?
Gutman's a guy.
All right.
Yeah, like you like that name. You just like saying Gutman.
Gutman?
Yeah. So
I
he,
saw you scored.
yeah, he got a goal, and like I don't know if he'll ever be anything in the NHL. I wasn't thinking about him specifically. That guy Korchinski, their first pick this last year, stud. Like you can just I needed one NHL game, which happened last night or on Tuesday night rather. You can just tell he's got the brain. He can skate. Everything else will come together. What his ceiling is, I don't know, but he is going to be a bona fide top pair, top 4 guy. Like no questions asked. He's really good. And for everybody like who, like the casual hockey fans that like gravitate to people, and rightfully so, like Andrew Shaw, they got one of those coming too. Sammy Savoie, which is just a fun name to say. Sammy Savoie, French kid, 5'10", $170, absolute cocksucker.
How do you spell it? Safroy?
Savoie?
Yeah.
It's French.
O-I-S.
So Savoie. Savoie.
Damn, I was hoping it was like Patrick Waugh.
It's the same French sound. You want to, it's like Savoy.
Yeah.
It reads Savoy, but it's Savoie. And I've been calling him Savoy all summer, but he's Sammy Savoie. He is like he drew a penalty last night that saved a goal because he was being such a little fucking shit running around all night. So he throws a hit and a guy comes in and puts him over the boards. So then he's getting out, but he had pissed off everybody else. So they were grabbing his stick and not letting him like track back into the play. The Blues scored. And the ref blew it dead because it's like, oh, it's interference because you guys were like pissed off and acted out against Sammy Savoie because he had been a shit for like 40 minutes straight. And I fucking love guys like that. They haven't
I
had
do too.
any forwards like that coming through the system in a long time. So he won't be here for a couple of years, but he's getting a good look in preseason. It's just fun to watch guys that are like little competitive, undersized shits, and that's exactly what he is. And so I don't know, he'll be like a third line guy when the team is good, but it is nice. Like we're in that mode now where it's like this is a genuine rebuild, and you can start to have like, that's a guy. That's a guy. And like instead of being like, well, I hope they can scramble something together to, you know, maybe make the playoffs while we're fucking miserable at the end of Taves and Kane. Now we're looking off into the future, and there's just little flashes of light in the darkness, and Sammy Savoie is going to be a fan favorite. I think everybody in this room is going to love him.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're going to love him, Dave?
by the sounds of it, I will be, because those are my types of guy too.
Yeah.
We've been referencing the insult snake draft quite a bit, and he just sounds like a little prick. And prick is one of those words that
He is. Yeah.
Pat Foley would have loved him.
you
Yeah.
love having them on your team. You hate fucking playing against them because they're just little pricks.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because why do you do like that?
I'm just being honest.
I mean, I
would-
know what you're doing though.
What is?
You just want to throw Foley's name out there and get the nostalgia going.
I just Savoie.
I think, because that was savoir-faire, was Denny Savard's nickname. So he would always say like, "Oh, the savoir-faire." I don't even know what the fuck that means, but he would say it all the time. So yeah, he would enjoy saying a little Savoies out there, a little French accent. But yeah, I think I think the preseason might be more fun than the regular season for me. So I'm gonna soak it in while the results don't matter, and you can just look at guys and hope they're good in the future.
How much were tickets? Did you look?
I did not. Should we pull up game
But
time right now?
like it appeared that the whole lower bowl was
It did
like
look
full.
pretty full. It
And
did
I
look
was
full.
very surprised.
I was there.
You were there?
You went to the game?
All right, Lance.
What'd you think, Lance?
Oh, jeez. I thought the left wing. I forget. Don't know exactly how to say it, Athanasiou or something like that.
Anthony Siu, yeah.
Yeah,
the
he
Greek.
was pretty sweet.
He's been around a long time.
I've heard that name. I know.
He
who
played for
is.
Detroit for a
Yeah,
while.
he had some really good stick skills. I was impressed.
Yeah. Stick skills.
He is who is the speedy guy in D2? Who's got it?
Martin St. Louis.
No. The Mighty Ducks.
I'm kidding.
I can't think of his name right
It
now.
was Benny the Jet Rodriguez, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the same actor.
Yeah.
But that's what Anthony Siu is. He's just like the fastest guy in the league, but doesn't like you. He did make a couple nice moves last night, but he's not known as a guy who can do anything except for just fucking fly.
But maybe he is now. Maybe he had a good offseason.
yeah,
Chief.
he turned
Best shape in
29
his
and all of
life.
a sudden,
I don't know. He was training with someone new.
yeah,
He went up to
doing
fucking.
altitude.
he is what he is.
Went up
He-
to Quebec with Biz.
He's on a line with Max Domi and Patrick Kane right now to start, so he'll have opportunities. I hope he gets 20 goals, has the best year of his life. They flip him for a first round pick, and
We got Max Domi.
oh yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, signed him in the offseason. And same thing with him. They both signed 1 year deals, matching for $3 million a piece. Kind of rehab. They're like, well, can I get it? Can I get a fresh contract after playing 60 games with Patrick Kane? Get my point totals up, get cash in. Pretty smart by them. And then the Hawks can flip him at the deadline, hopefully for more assets, and get this thing going.
So did
quickly.
he kind of tailor off?
Max Domi?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had one very good year with the Coyotes.
It was him and DeClaire.
Yeah,
And they burst onto the scene.
they both had like a big year,
Yeah.
their rookie year, and then that organization just can never get it right. So then he got traded to Montreal. Max Domi did, and he had a monster year his first year with Montreal. I think he had maybe 78 points and 27 goals, like very, very good year. And then he's still only 27, but his game has been in decline the last couple of years. A few nagging injuries. He goes to Columbus. He's moved around. He lands here as like a rehab kind of thing. And I do think like the way he plays will complement like Patrick Kane, and they have him playing center. So I think that line will be pretty good. I mean, any line with Patrick Kane is going to be pretty good, but those guys have like one guy to like push the D back, create space. Kane kind of cuts in behind and finds Domi who can really shoot the puck. That's a good formula right there. So, but that'll be good enough for finishing last place.
What do you think of Igor's new mask?
I haven't seen it.
Dude, insane. I was like commenting about it, like I posted it on my story, and I happened to be sitting next to like one of my good friends, Andrew, and then he like pulled up his phone, and one of his friends who lives out here like sent my Instagram story to him, being like, "Yo, I designed this mask."
What?
And I was like sitting right next to Andrew, and he said, "I was like, wait, what?" Like I've met the guy before, but
I'm looking
he's
at
like
it
the
now.
head creative.
It's like a
of
cartoon kind of.
Bauer. It's just sick. It has like the Liberty head and then the two eagles on the side.
Yeah, it's sick. So it's
And
kind of like a throwback to
was
Richter.
like, I was asking all the questions. I'm like, was Igor like on the calls? Like, did he design it? Like, how did you go about that? Like, he basically like worked with Igor to create that.
That was the happiest I've ever seen Tom, was when the Rangers won that Game 7.
It was great, best day of my life.
Yeah.
It was hands down.
Yeah.
I've like all summer just been going to sleep watching highlights from that playoff series.
I don't blame you. That was great, and I like to see my guys happy. I don't want you guys to get Patrick Kane. I don't want to hear about it on Twitter every day. Like I tweeted something like, I love watching Patrick, because Patrick Kane had a couple moments last night. You're like, this guy's still the best. And I got a reply from an Avalanche fan, a Leafs fan, a Devils fan, a Red Wings fan, a Sabres fan, and a Rangers fan, and an Islanders fan. So it's just like it's saying like, can't wait till he's with us in March. Shut the fuck
He's
up.
like your hot daughter. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
hands off.
Come on.
She'll decide when she's ready. Okay. Fuck off.
Fucking Patrick Kane's all of a sudden going to be Kenny Lofton.
Yeah.
Be on 16 teams.
Oh God, that would be terrible.
Yeah,
That
could you
would be-
imagine?
yeah.
Edwin Jackson.
Yeah.
Can I say something else?
Mm-hmm.
I think Taves is kind of fat.
Oh yeah, we talked about this yesterday when he
Thought he was
walked in.
supposed to come back like.
Have you seen him?
No.
He does not look like.
That video where he walked into the high school, I think it was Highland Park High School, right?
That was cool.
That was cool, but unfortunately, the first thing I noticed was it looked like he had a dad bod.
He looks like a guy from 1983 who's using training camp to get in shape. That's what it looks like to me, which is how times have changed.
Well, let's be positive. He's switching something up. Maybe.
Hey, I mean,
You
it's
took
simple
the full
physics.
you took the full year off before last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, if you're making $10.5 million a year,
This is his last year. Chris.
this is last year, you're obligated to show up in shape. Sorry.
I would say so.
Yeah. That would be, and you know, maybe he is in shape and it's in my head, but it's,
I had the same thought. And I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
hate,
about.
sounds creepy, but I've been studying his body for 15 years. so and his body,
you're right, that it sounds creepy.
His body does not look right to me. So as a guy who's been looking at his body every day for 15 years, it doesn't look the same.
When does playoff start, Carl?
Playoffs start October, like 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. I think they're off the 6th.
Wednesday is the last day because I will watch
starts
the last
7,
game of the
starts
White
7.
Sox season.
So next Wednesday, the season is over.
Yeah.
Anything to pay attention here for?
Yeah,
for
7. So there's 7 games left. I think it's interesting. Aaron Judge hasn't popped in 7, and so he's got 7 games left to hit 2 to hit the home run. People have just been talking about 62 like it's been a done deal. So there is a chance he gets blanked. It's not a great chance, but that's a pretty ridiculous story. Cardinals clinch. Yankees clinch. The story about the Guardians talking shit isn't very important to me. The story is the Guardians are going in and hosting a very weak Mariners team right now. They've been on a skid. And so for as much shade the Guardians have managed this year, like there is a chance that they just keep adding feathers in their cap. Like if they win 1 or 2 playoff series, it's just a fucking unbelievable thing that they've done with that roster team doing it different. And then this weekend is probably the biggest series, not just of this year, but in recent memory. You'd probably have to go back to like 2017 or 18 for me to be like, oh, that was a big one because it's Braves versus Mets. The Braves finally caught the Mets. Even 97 wins apiece. And then the Braves, listen to this, they lose Spencer Strider for the year, who's like neck and neck to be the rookie of the year with his teammate Michael Harris in center field, but shatters the strikeout record, quickest to 200 strikeouts in any season. Shatters it. I shouldn't say shatters, beats fucking Randy Johnson's 20-year-old record as a rookie. 4th rounder out of Clemson. Nobody even knew who this kid was. He's out there like, oh, he might not be back till the NLCS because it was oblique. So the Braves had this guy go out last night, Bryce Elder. He's made a couple starts this year, whatever. Throws 90-91. If you haven't seen this guy, Bryce Elder throws fucking bowling balls. They were measuring 16 to 18 inches of movement on a sinker. Looked like Fernando Valenzuela throwing fucking screwballs out there. And it's just crazy that the Braves are like, oh, this rookie that you've never heard of, he's one of the greatest strikeout pitchers, just put up one of the greatest strikeout seasons of all time. Oh, he might be out for a second. Oh, we have this other guy throws 91 fucking. My point is this: if you're a Braves fan, it doesn't get any easier to cheer for any team in professional sports, and that goes back to being in childhood.
No.
And the
They're
thing
just
is,
every year they come from nowhere. It's just everybody they bring in is good.
they won the World Series last year, and people don't even talk about this anymore. I mean, if you're really, 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 really a baseball guy, sure. But they got their farm system kind of gutted, 3 years ago because of I'm going to butcher his name, the old GM.
Oh, Anthopoulos.
Anthropoulos or whatever,
Yeah.
the Greek last name. Because of they were illegally skimming signing bonuses or whatever that scandal was. And nobody's even talking about that. They didn't skip a fucking beat. That's how well-oiled machine that they've become.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
everybody that they sign internationally or they draft, bring up, like if you're breaking in the big leagues, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, obviously
He's been hurt.
Dansby Swanson is just like a career guy. Their entire rotation, Kyle Wright, Mike Soroka, who's coming back. Obviously, the Spencer Strider kid, a 4th rounder out of Clemson. So yeah, the Braves versus Mets. The Braves have more momentum, but the Mets have Max Scherzer in their dugout. and there's supposed to be major storms on that. So it'll just be great because the winner of that division gets a fucking first round bye, gets a host in NLDS, all that shit. The loser, you have to get on a you have to like go home, host a 3-game wild card, and then get on a plane and go play the Dodgers.
I'm watching Bryce Elder right now.
It's like the right to go play in Los Angeles.
This is like a harder throwing Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, nasty stuff. Check them out. So those are the big story. Mets versus Braves this weekend, Ed. Keep in tune. Talk to Clem. See how Clem's checking on him. Those guys they're ready to break. This will be, if the Mets don't make the playoffs, it could be like the most heartbreaking like collapse.
But they're locked in a wild card, though, right?
No,
yeah, I shouldn't say make the playoffs. The NL East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is if they go to the wild card, Ed.
They refresh me because they change everything up, and I get confused.
If they don't win the division, if the Mets don't win the division, they have a 3-game series at home against the Phillies or the Padres, with the right, if they win that, to then go on the road and play the Dodgers in the NLDS. If you win the division, you just host the NLDS. That's it.
It's a big difference.
Huge.
It's literally you host the winner of like the Cardinals and
Yeah.
the
Phillies.
Cardinals
Right.
Phillies or
Yeah.
Cardinals Brewers.
Big old difference.
162 comes down to that. It's crazy how that works. So good luck to everybody. Sorry the White Sox aren't in it, Dave. I do mean that. It may be nice, but
It would be very nice.
they're not.
They're not.
Illinois versus Wisconsin. I had to say it. Just had to. Illinois versus
Feel 'em a
Wisconsin.
bowl.
We
see.
beat Wisconsin. This
Right,
is the
yeah.
team we do upset. So
That is true.
And Wisconsin fucking stinks.
We do
Big Ten
need
West is fucking awful. I don't even think Minnesota's.
we do need a little bit of a statement on Northwestern.
It's the most pathetic thing I've ever watched in my entire life.
are you guys just Miami, Ohio is Big Ten's MAC team, Chicago's MAC team?
Did you like that? This is not too dissimilar to what I said last week about the Guardians. I didn't even say that on Redline Radio because it hadn't happened yet. But people kept sending me the Guardians like shit talking the White Sox both on Twitter and in the clubhouse when they were popping champagne, and I'm like, and they're like, oh fuck Cleveland, they're like fuck them. I'm like, why? Fuck the White Sox for letting this happen. Like, it's not like Cleveland has reserved every single right to talk shit about the White Sox in every single way. I don't care that they are. I hope they do it as much as possible. And this is the same thing. Like, fucking, you don't want to be bad. Don't lose to a shit box MAC team on a backup quarterback who literally looked like he was throwing with his opposite hand. And don't let it happen. If you
Are they
want
the worst team in the Big Ten?
Oh, well, no, Nebraska. They beat Nebraska, so I guess you kind of have to say that. But
Man, that's like you beat Nebraska in Ireland, then you lose at home to Southern Illinois, and you lose to Miami, Ohio.
And Miami, Ohio had a couple of drives that they missed a field goal from like kind of a chip shot, and then they had one blocked. So like it came down to a last second field goal, but they probably shouldn't. Like they were in.
it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
But we
And-
stand by our guys. You stand by Pat.
He's got to make changes. Like, they're getting a new stadium in a couple of years. They're going to be playing at Wrigley and Soldier Field, I guess, like splitting.
Yeah.
And if I'm Pat Ryan, and Pat Ryan's who's funding like everybody in Chicago knows who Pat Ryan is.
Yep.
He's funding the new stadium. It's going to be a gazillion-dollar facility. It's going to be beautiful. Like, why would he want to do that if this is the kind of product he's getting? Nobody's going to those games. I don't want to go watch him lose to anybody by 1,000 points, which is going to happen the rest of the Big Ten season.
Yeah.
Oh, the line opened at 25.5, I think it was. I saw 20. I might update it 26.5. That's what our spreadsheet says. But I'm very strongly considering driving to Indiana so I can make that bet against Northwestern for this Saturday.
Do it. It's not a long drive. You got a car.
Yep, it's exactly because I think
Drive will pay for itself.
They're gonna lose by 1 million. I think.
Go make that bet.
They stink.
Go make that bet.
Very much considering it.
Pats beat Rita.
No. Lost.
Okay.
Tough. Quarterback got hurt in the first drive.
Rita announced that they have a new coach for next year. I think his name's
Martin Hopkins, yeah.
Marty Hopkins. I was with them on
Shout
Sunday
out.
night.
Yep. Shout out to the Hopkins family.
Papa Hops.
And
Great cause.
Just good dudes. Love to see that stuff.
Yeah.
I think my high school football team even fucking sucks.
St. Charles North is off
Hit
to a
the
great
music.
start.
Hit
Shout
the
out to
glory
St. Charles
holes.
and the North Stars.
Are they?
Yeah, 4-1.
Nice.
Not that I care. They beat Wheaton Warrenville South, actually.
I know they did.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back next week. Bears are going to be 3-1.
I think they're going to be 3-1.
Yeah, we'll see. Justin played better. That's all we want.
That's all we want.
This is Redline Radio, all gas.
No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.